and get to our second conversation. And this is news that filtered in through to the country last night. Bob Munro, who founded the Mathare Youth Sports Association, passed away at the age of 82. In 1987, he founded the Mathare Youth Sports Association, and it has given us Mathare United, Mathare Youth, Mathare Women. We have picked up people like Maurice Wambua, who's a mathematics don. We've had Francis Kimanzi, and there are others who are there who've made their mark in Kenyan football. And to just give us a context into this is somebody who had the experience of being groomed by, being mentored by the late Bob Munro. We've got Jack Oguda, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the KPL Limited. Jack, a very good morning to you and condolences to you.
Good morning.
And condolences to you. And let me just get into this conversation. You know the story of the Mathare Youth Sports Association. Just give us a background, because for Bob Munro to come into this, one incident happened, and after that there was a lot of growth and conversations around what he did for Kenyan football through MISA over the years.
It's nice talking to you, and it's quite a sad moment for Kenyan football and Kenyans at large, and those who Bob impacted in life. And Bob came into Kenya and started up MISA in 1987, and in Mathare slums, and later it grew all to areas within the Mathare environs. I personally joined MISA in 1989, started playing in Githurai zone for a team called Bentos. And the beauty that I could see was that MISA was a very well-organized league and grassroots tournament that really encouraged very many young kids below the age of 17 downward to start and have a feel of how the future is going to be. Bob has been quite instrumental in terms of changing the game and giving hope to the kids in Mathare and its environment. And we've lost a legend, we've lost a father figure, and we've lost a mentor who has really helped streamline and bring professionalism into Kenyan football and Kenyan sport at large. We are really going to miss him, and we pray that may his soul rest in eternal peace. That's just quite a brief of Bob, and he's really done a lot. I remember during our playing days, he was our champion in terms of trying to clean up the sport when FKF never supported the clubs, and then eventually we started, or they started, the club started an inter-clubs consultative meeting that used to sit down and discuss on matters football and how they can professionalize the game. Later on, this gave birth to the Kenyan Premier League, and there was a lot of hue and cry between the federation and the clubs, but happily in 2004, with the intervention of FIFA and the government, KPL started to run the league. All this was under the stewardship of Bob Munro, and that was a commendable period, and we've seen the fruits ever since KPL managed the top flight football. So Bob has been quite instrumental, even during the post-election violence in 2007. In early 2008, Bob managed to convince the clubs to forego their grants and support the national team. And during that year is when Kenya Harambee Stars managed to get the best FIFA ranking of number 68. All this was to the stewardship of Bob Munro. We're really going to miss him, and we'll carry on in journey and make sure that what he believed in is realized.
Let me just pick some few moments in the history of the Mathare Sports Association. 1992, a team was picked to go to Brazil. Two players stood out. One, Francis Kimanzi, who later became, the national team coach. He was also, captain of the Mathare United side that won the Moi Golden Cup twice. And then there is Maurice Wambua, who is now a mathematics don in the US. What was that life-changing moment for a lot of the youngsters in 92?
In fact, 92 we had a senior team where most of were icons to now our team. And when UNEP supported Madari youth to go to Brazil, we were most of our players were underage at that time, and there was no way that Bob would allow some of the players to be recruited into a foreign country at that tender age of 12. So we managed to come back. The players managed to come back, but later on, Bob could see the future and vision that Madari would be a hub of selling very many players. But that was still an eye-opener. After coming back is when we convinced Bob to start a team to participate in the FKF leagues, which he agreed and accepted, and that's when Madari United was formed in 1994. So we had very many good players. We used to participate in the Norway Cup year in, year out, and we could see that the talent within Madari and Maisa at large was quite visible and commendable. And I could give you a case in point where the team that, when the national team rose to the best rank of 68, most of the players were from Madari. So I believe in his administration skills, his leadership skills are quite exemplary.
And I think for Madari United and the Mices, just about the Norway Cup wins that they did over the years, but it is when your side, you were in that side, when you won the Moi Golden Cup for the first time, and everyone thought, okay, AFC Leopards and Eldoret KCC, they've won this before, but they're being beaten by a team that was then known as they came to be known, the Slum Boys. What were those few moments for the team? I remember, Ezekiel Akwana breaking through at that point. A lot of players really, Oburu that side. There was the late Peter Seri, all of them in that side. What really did that magic?
As I've just mentioned, part of the successes on professionalizing the game, Bob ensured that there was transparency, accountability, and integrity in football administration. With this, Madari was already a leader in most of this. He managed to help us start the Transparency Cup, which later on brought up the KPL. The milestones and testaments were the collective efforts that we had as a team. We demonstrated the power of teamwork, resilience, and unity, and we knew the goals we were to achieve. And he really inspired us into becoming top footballers and making sure that we achieved the most in terms of football accolades. So he's a father figure, he's a mentor, and I said he's a philanthropist as well in terms of understanding the game, and whatever he's brought to Kenyan football is immense.
Is just the part of it. And over the years, one of the things that the transformation is that the Mathare Youth Sports Association inspired what is now known as the Sport for Development movement in Kenya. We have seen institutions like the Trans Nzoia Youth Sports Association. They have come through with their base mainly in Kitale and covering the North Rift region. In Kilifi County, we have Moving the Goalposts, which focuses on girls' education. We have Hodi out in Marsabit, which does its work there. And, other institutions that are in South Nyanza and impacting. How did this, branch out, and how did it inspire other people to bring in sport and use it as a development tool?
I think for one, the motto for MISA was, you do something, I do something. So from the onset, and I think MISA is a pioneer of sports for development, being a player of Mathare United, you are supposed to have a team of under 12 players. And with this team was the first point of showing your leadership skills. And for every season, a team would have to complete or do community service to earn points that will be added onto your league standing. So that was the first point. And if you have, let's say we had a team of 30 players in Mathare United, that would mean that each player in the Mathare United team would have a team as well. So that would be 30 teams of under 12 that would participate in the various leagues in the MISA umbrella. So that was the first part of showing leadership skill, and it was a way of getting we players to be involved directly with the running of a youth team. And that really helped. That's why Mathare MISA has been a hub of very many players in Kenyan football and has had most of the successful players passing through the MISA pipeline. So that is something that I've not seen other teams do. And I think it's something that if we pick up as Kenyan top-tier clubs, it was something that really spark growth and make our younger players want to play into football. Secondly, I think one aspect that Bob brought about in our team is like we lived as brothers and one family. Whatever we did collectively together. In case you wanted to go out, let's say after a win, we would all discuss on where we were going and make sure that everybody is disciplined and respects one another. So there are these qualities and values that Bob implanted on us that we will have to carry on for the future generation.
One other thing that, he did, we know around the early 2010s and all of that, there was, a bit of turbulence here and there. How was he able to navigate this so that Mathare Youth Sports Association remained relevant and kept impacting the young people, given that it had grown from where he had intended it to be, and now they even had their headquarters out on Kangundo Road, and such that the project did not disappear?
In fact, Bob was quite a brilliant man. He said it's a youth organization run by the youth, and the youth made the decisions. He was only the chairman of MISA, and he ensured that any decisions that were made were sound, were being led by the youth themselves. And that's why the success of MISA has been youth making the decisions and youth running the organization.
And overall, one of the things is, I think I attended one event, I think it was MISA 24, if I'm not wrong, I think 2011 or 24 or 25, is that while a lot of people look at MISA from the football perspective, is that people who have come in from the MISA system, they ventured into other areas. Maurice Wambu, I think, is the best known, played for the Harambee Stars, then suddenly he's teaching mathematics in the US at university level. But there's a story of somebody, he says, the greatest failure. I think he was a goalkeeper. I think he missed out on the Brazil trip, but now runs, but he's now one of the top financial executives on the continent. What are these other success stories outside of football?
There are very many success stories. We have various success stories. The one in particular that you're mentioning is Moses Mutuli, who is an actuarial scientist, and he's now the chairman of MISA, and he's just picking up from what Bob had impacted into him. We have other stories. Kimanzi has also risen up in the ranks, now currently running the national team. Myself, as the CEO of the Kenyan Premier League, and quite a lot. When we start talking about the successes that we had in MISA, and someone like Mariga has also passed through the MISA, and he's now the deputy president of FKF. He also passed through the MISA system. So there are very many great stories. Wanyama as well. Very many players playing in top flight football in the Scandinavian countries are all MISA alumni. And it would be great that the MISA alumni set up a day to celebrate Bob Munro, and we will work towards that as well.
One odd story that I think the most expensive football to have come from Kenya was at MISA. I think it cost $1 million, Bob, and it was a Juala ball. What's the story of that Juala ball?
Yeah, remember that was an event of Laureus that was done in Dubai, and the ball was auctioned for $1 million. It was a Joala ball with Misa colors, green and yellow strings. Quite interesting.
Yes. Now, as we wrap this interview up, what is the legacy of Bob Munro that you would want that you'd like to see, such that the impact that he had in women's football? I mean, we also have had Dorina Bwire, the first woman to play professional football, also coming from that, and she was running the leagues and competitions in the federation. So what's this story that you do not want forgotten at all about Bob Munro?
I think what I would not want to be forgotten about Bob is, first of all, is Misa. Second, the way he has struggled with Mathare United FC. Third, he was the pioneer of starting up the Kenyan Premier League. And all this is based on how he ensured that the game is professionalized. He ensured transparency, accountability, and integrity in the football administration. So I think we need to give him accolades, and we focus as a football family and grassroots football to ensure that whatever we do in terms of running any sporting industry, we need to be transparent, accountable, and the utmost integrity in whatever we do. And we will honor him, and we keep on moving towards that.
Thank you very much, Jack Oguda. Condolences to the and football family in Kenya. And this is following the demise of Bob Munro, who founded the Mathare Youth Sports Association in 1987. It's an institution that has inspired a lot of the organizations that are doing sport for development. Sante sana and poleni, Jack.
Thank you very much, and may his soul rest in peace.
All right. Well, you've heard it from Jack Oguda, who is the CEO of the Kenyan Premier League Limited, KPL Limited. He is a product of MISA, joined it in '89. So, and if you joined it then, MISA was just 2 years on, and the impact has been there. We'll be getting into a volleyball conversation and also one about a gender conference that's coming. And in studio with me is